Hello students, welcome to my next video on the chapter lens. So this is the continuation video of the previous chapter. In the previous chapter we have come across the different types of lens, that is convex lens and concave lens. But if you see what is lens or what is the definition of lens, it is a transparent refractive medium with a spherical surface on one or both the sides. This one already we have discussed in the previous class, that both the sides can be curved or both the sides can be concave shape, right? You see two types of lenses are there. First one is called converging lens and second one is called diverging lens. That is, convex lens is considered to be as converging lens and concave lens is said to be as diverging lens. Now the question comes, why it is said to be as converging or diverging, right? Converging lens because when the light rays falls on this lens, they converge to a fixed point. They seems to getting meeting at a fixed point. So that's the reason that convex lens is considered to be as converging lens, whereas concave lens is considered to be as diverging lens, because when the light falls on these concave lens, they appear to diverge from a fixed point, right? So they appears to diverge from the point of focus, so that is why they are considered to be as diverging lens. So this is the biconvex lens and this is the biconcave lens. Okay, so if it is asked what is the primary function of lens, so why we use lens here? The primary function of lens is to form images of the real object. To get the images of the real object, always we use lens, right? So these are the terms which already we have discussed here. I am just recapitulating the points which will be easy for us to understand how the images are formed by these lenses. So these terms are very important, so I am revising once more, right? So what is the center of curvature? It is the center of the sphere. If I consider this is the sphere, two spheres are taken side by side and this is the center of a sphere of which lens is a part. You see a lens is being formed by these two spherical glass, or that is refracting medium. So when I take this portion from these two surfaces, we will be getting this one, right? So for this surface, if I consider this is a part of first sphere, that means this surface center is in left hand side and this curved surface is a part of the second sphere that forms the center of curvature in the right hand side, that means C1 and C2. These are the centers of curvature, right? So it is the center of a sphere of which lens is a part. This is the definition of center of curvature. The distance between center of curvature and optical center, this distance is considered to be as radius of curvature, and this is the geometrical center of a lens, that is called optical center, right? So optical center is the geometrical center of any lens. Center of curvature is the center of the sphere of which lens is a part, and principal axis. Now if this is the optical center and if I consider this has to be as center of curvature, the imaginary line joining the center of curvature and optical center is considered to be as principal axis. Okay, so it is an imaginary line. We don't see any such type of line in a lens, but we imagine that a line is passing through these both the points. That line is considered to be as principal axis. And focus. Focus means here when a light falls on the lens, they tries to meet at a particular point, or if it is a concave lens, they tries to diverge from a fixed point. Like light is falling here parallelly, they tries to meet to a fixed point. This is called focus, right? So whichever light will be falling here, always it will pass through a fixed point, that is called principal focus. And the distance between optical center and focus, principal focus, is considered to be as focal length. In the previous video also we have gone through first focal point and the second focal point. So what is the difference between first focal point and the second focal point? In the first focal point, the rays of light appears to come from focus, and as soon as it strikes the lens, they travel parallelly to the principal axis. Okay, so they appear to come from the focus, or you see in case of diverging lens, that in a concave lens, it's just the opposite. You see light try to form at focus, but as soon as it forms at the wider edges of this concave lens, they form parallel. In case of second focal point, in case of here, first the light is moving parallel, they appear to meet at a fixed point, but in the previous case what we have seen, the light was coming from focus, then it was parallel. But here we see that light is parallel to the principal axis and they appears to meet at a fixed point. So when they are meeting at a fixed point, that forms a focal point, that is the second focal point, and if light is emerging from the focus and then it becomes parallel to the principal axis, that is considered to be as first focal point. So this is the first focal point and here this is the second focal point. And in case of diverging lens also just it is opposite. You see, now it lies are parallel here and they diverge across the edges and they appear to meet at this focus, that is called second focal point. So this is how we determine the focal length, that is the distance between focus and optical center. This is the focal length, you see, it is denoted by small f. And in case of diverging lens, the image is formed in the same side of that object, means object is placed here, so that's the light is passing from left to right. So where the object is placed, the image is also formed in the same side here in case of concave. So focal length here from O to F is the focal length here, that is small f. So here you see the different rules of drawing ray diagram. First you see, when the ray of light is passing parallel to principal axis, it passes through focus, right, in case of convex lens. But in case of concave lens, when the ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, they appear to diverge. Now here it meets in the same side, it appears to meet, that is the virtual, there's a virtual image here, that one we will going on detailedly in our next video. That is all about real image and virtual image. We will see that the convex lens will always form a real image, whereas a concave lens always forms a virtual image, right? So here you see, in case of convex, when the ray of light is passing through optical center, it will move straight, and in case of concave also, it goes straight without any deviation, right? So in the third case, when a ray of light is passing through focus, it moves parallel to the principal axis. This is just the converse of the first case. In the first case we have seen, when any ray of light is passing parallel to principal axis, it passes through focus. In the third case we see, if any ray of light is passing through focus, after refraction it will move parallel to the principal axis. And here, when any ray of light is passing through optical center, it will move straight without any deviation, right? So these are the three conditions by which we will be drawing a diagram for image formation. So these three rules are very important while constructing a image diagram. So I was about to start the concept of this real image and virtual image in the next video, but I thought to start it today itself. So what are real images and what are virtual images? Real images are formed by convex lens and virtual images that are formed by concave lens. Okay. So generally real images are those images which can be obtained on a screen, but whereas virtual images are those images which cannot be obtained on a screen. And there are many reasons why the convex lens forms a real image and why the concave lens forms a virtual image. That one we will be going one by one detailedly. The first reason is that the object and the image formation, they are in the opposite side. In case of real image, you see the object is placed left hand side of the lens and image is formed on the right hand side. You see the bulb rays are falling on the convex lens and it is forming an image on the right hand side. Second point, it forms an inverted image. In a real image, the image is inverted in nature, right? Inverted means upside down. Also, real image can be obtained on a screen, but whereas virtual image cannot be obtained on a screen. So in real image, the rays of light appears to meet at a fixed point, but here in virtual image, when the virtual image is found, the rays of light appears to meet at a fixed point, but they don't actually meet after refraction. So these are the conditions of image formation. So when the object AB is at infinity, that means when the light is coming from very far and it is striking the convex lens, the image is formed at point F2, that is second focal point, right? So this is the first condition. And what is the nature of this image? That means image is formed at the focus on the other side of the lens. It is a real image because it is in the right hand side of the lens. It is inverted, you see, that is upside down, and highly diminished. It is very small because light is coming from stars or sun, some heavenly bodies, so they appear to be very small. Next condition we have, when the object AB is beyond 2f1, that means beyond center of curvature, right? So when the object is placed here, first one ray will pass parallel to principal axis and it will pass through focus, and second ray, after passing through optical center, they will intersect the previous ray of light which is passing through focus at point between f2 and 2f1, right? So this image is also inverted and the image is formed between focus and center of curvature. So that is between f2 and 2f2. On the other side it is real, it is inverted and smaller than the object. You see the size of the image is smaller than that of object. So these are the ray diagrams you need to practice in your exercise book. These conditions are very important. They are often asked, draw the ray diagram when an object is placed so and so, and what is the nature of this image. So these questions several times it has come. So when the ray of light is passing parallel to principal axis, it passes through focus, and if any ray of light is passing through focus or passing through optical center, it will move straight and they will intersect at a point 2f2. That means when an object is placed at center of curvature, the image is formed also at center of curvature. That is at 2f1 will produce an image at 2f2. That is of same size, that is real, inverted, and the same side of the object. Now the size of image and size of object is same. Next condition we have, when the object AB is between f1 and 2f1. You see, between focus and center of curvature. Again, you see, in all the diagrams, two things are common. First, one ray of light is passing parallel, it is passing through focus. Next, a ray of light is passing through optical center and both will intersect at a fixed point. Now image is formed beyond 2f2. When the object was placed between f1 and 2f1, image is formed beyond 2f2. So generally the size of the image is bigger or magnified as compared to the object size. So it is real, inverted, and magnified, and it is formed beyond the 2f2. Now what happens when the object AB is at focal point f1? Now it is placed at focus. So in the first condition we have seen, when the light was coming from infinity, it is forming image at focus. But now when the object is at focus, it will form image at infinity. That is the converse of the first case. So image is formed at infinity at the other side of the lens. It forms real, inverted, and highly magnified. That means image is very magnified in nature. And this is the exception, that it forms the concept of magnifying glass. In all other cases we have seen the image is formed in the right hand side. But here this is the exception case, when the object is placed within its focal length. That means O and f1. It forms a magnified image and it forms a virtual image. In all other cases it forms a real image. Here it forms virtual image, right? First light ray is falling parallel, it passes through focus and it passes through optical center and they appears to meet at a point that is in the same side of the object. That forms a virtual. The image formed here, it formed on the same side of the object. It is virtual behind the object and it is erect and larger than the object. So it forms a magnified image of the object. So here we have the sign conventions of convex and concave lens. So in the formulas we will be finding that what is U? U is the object distance, V is the image distance, and F is the focal length. Now in case of convex lens we have seen the image is formed in the right hand side, and in case of concave lens we have seen the image is formed in the same side of the object. So generally convex lens forms a real image, whereas concave lens forms a virtual image. But there is an exception, as already I have told you, that in case of convex lens, when the object is placed within its focal length, that is optical center and principal focus, the image is formed in the same side and it forms a magnified image, and this concept we use in case of magnifying glass, right? So this formula which I am going to explain now, that will be used in numericals, and make sure you don't make mistake while giving the sign, that is plus or minus, in case of object and image distance, right? Let's start here now. You see, so if I consider a convex lens, always the light moves from left hand side and it moves towards the right hand side. So everything which is considered to be left hand side of the lens is always positive, and right hand side, in the left hand side we will consider it to be as negative, and the right hand side we will consider it to be as positive. If I place an object here in the left hand side, if this is the object, so distance between object and the optical center is considered to be as u, and when it forms an image at this position, suppose, so this distance is considered to be as v. So v is the image distance and u is the object distance, right? So you see where the object is being placed, that is placed in front of the lens. So here u is considered to be as negative. Where the image is formed, it is in the right hand side of the lens, so that's why it is considered to be as positive. And f, that is focal length, is positive because image is forming here. So where the image is being formed, that point is, and to the optical center, that is said to be as positive, whereas in the right hand side, as it is in the right hand side, so it is considered to be as positive. Similarly, height of object is positive because in the left hand side, that is in upward direction, but when it forms an image here, you see, suppose a ray of light is moving like this, it forms an inverted image and it is in a downward direction. That's why the height of image is said to be as negative. So two things I have said here. So first I have said, when an object is placed in the left hand side of the lens, it is considered to be as positive. When it forms an image on the right hand side, it is said to be as positive in the right hand side and negative in the left hand side. Similarly, here when the object height is in upward direction, that is erect here, that is considered to be as positive. When it forms an image here in the right hand side in inverted direction, then it is considered to be as negative. Now let's see for concave. In the concave, also the object distance is said to be as negative because it is placed in front of the lens, same as that of convex. But here, in case of convex, the image was formed in the right hand side, so it was positive, but here image is formed in the same side. So in case of concave, v is negative, f is also negative, and height of object and height of image both are positive because it forms an erect image. The virtual images, they forms an erect image in case of concave. So here both the heights are positive, but in case of convex, we have seen the height of object is positive where the height of image is negative. So this sign convention will be used in the formula, that this is called the lens formula, that is 1 by f equals to 1 by v minus 1 by u. If we know the object distance and image distance, then we can easily find out the focal length, and once we find the focal length, we can find what is the center of curvature, what is the radius of curvature of that lens, because twice of focal length is equals to radius of curvature. So this relation also we know, that is twice of focal length equals to radius of curvature, or half of radius of curvature is equals to focal length. Now power of lens, in order to find the power of lens, we have to get the reciprocal of the focal length, and that has to be in meter, right? So this is the formula of calculating the power of lens, and it is measured in diopter. So diopter is the unit of calculating power of lens. And the formula which you see, that 1 by f equals to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2, this is the formula of combination of two thin lenses. When two thin lenses are being combined, their focal length, the reciprocal of their focal length will get added up. And the last topic which we have in this video tutorial is the magnification. So what is the magnification here? You see, height of image to that of height of object is termed as magnification. So also it is considered to be as linear magnification, which we calculate by calculating the ratio of height of image to that height of object. So it is negative and it is positive as per to real image or virtual images, right? So this was all about lenses. So you will be making notes by yourself and watch the video till the end. So as soon as you watch the video, you will give a like and also write your name on your comment section, so that I can find out that the students who has watched the video seriously, right? And be prepared for the coming online classes which I am going to conduct. That is an online test I will be conducting in a Google form. So the questions will be from this video tutorial, and also if you have purchased book, you will be reading from your book, or you let me know, I will be giving some PDF files of the books, right? Till then, thank you.